I know this sounds weird, but no one has done more damage to Tesla's brand reputation and credibility over the last several months than Elon Musk and Tesla itself, with a huge accusation made this week that can actually drive a good number of future and current customers away from the brand. Forbes contributor Tom Moloughney will be here to weigh in on how serious the allegations actually are and if Tesla can still pull itself out of it. Plus, in other electric car news, Fisker's surprising announcement, Lexus may be getting on board with EVs, Aptera smokes Model 3, update on the Bolt production, and how about an all-electric DeLorean? All of this is coming up next. Welcome to E4 Electric. Don't forget to click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Over the last 10 years, we have seen a fair share of self-proclaimed and media-labeled Tesla killers. As a matter of fact, I'm surprised nobody has started a punk rock band in Berkeley under the same name, but now that Tesla is the most valued car company in the world by far, I haven't heard that term in a while. But I think we finally have a worthy opponent. And no, it's not the Volkswagen Group or XPeng Motors or NIO, which are definitely getting close. No, it's actually, well, to borrow Elon's own riddle, it starts with a T, ends with an A, well, you know the rest. And I know it is unprecedented to even think that Tesla would ever yield its crown of the best electric car maker in the world, but if you're watching my channel, you're probably old enough to remember MySpace and Facebook and Microsoft and a few other companies and products that ruled their niche so hard we could never imagine that ever changing. And yet, well, you can download more of my thoughts on this from my Napster account. Is it possible that Tesla may just be the next Facebook? And no, it won't disappear or go bankrupt, but it will just be less significant. But I don't think it will be another company that will knock it down. I think it will be itself. Now, we know Elon Musk and Tesla has gotten away with things that no other company ever does, but in the last few months, and really even a couple of years, more and more self-inflicting wounds have been adding up in the public eye. Elon Musk himself, who used to be thought of as a revolutionary genius who's changing the world, is now more often referred to as a butt of a joke, as a selfish billionaire who says wacky things and picks fights with other billionaires on Twitter for sport. And Tesla has already been successfully sued in different parts of the world for lying to their customers about what they get for what they paid for. From the full self-driving features to the name itself, which is now banned in Germany as misleading. And just this week, South Korean regulators have gone after Tesla for exaggerating the range of the cars and refusing to refund deposits when customers cancel their orders. No, you can't take your $100 back. How are we supposed to pay people to send you emails about changing your delivery date every month? Also this month, Elon Musk, through his attorney, has complained about SEC harassing him ever since his 420 tweet, which did mislead the company investors. Now, personally, I think Elon's tweets have gotten worse, and he has misled his investors on many other occasions, and I thought SEC was actually taking it easy on him for the last couple of years. I mean, it's like me complaining about a cop who was harassing me on a freeway because I was speeding with his sirens and lights and demanding the insurance card. I mean, he's a cop and you're speeding. What do you think is going to happen? And I know what you're thinking. How can you get a speeding ticket in a 94? Well, I was going downhill. And on top of that, NHTSA has started investigating Tesla's phantom braking problem this month, which has become an issue for many full self-driving customers where their cars just slammed on the brakes for no reason, which can also be said about most women I've dated in college. But when it comes to cars, it's definitely a bigger problem. Also this week, Elon Musk has equated Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to Adolf Hitler. Are we still doing that? In his tweet, which he later deleted. And as you know, Elon does not often do that, even with his worst tweets. And all of this has only continued to lower the reputation of the brand and its leader, not only in the public eye, but in the Tesla community itself. But all of this is nothing compared to what I think can crush Tesla in the next few months to a year. I'll tell you what it is, but before that, a quick reminder that this video is brought to you by EV Charge for You. Do you live in an apartment or a condo complex in the San Francisco Bay Area and have trouble convincing the management or the HOA to get your own EV charger installed? With the load management box from EV Charge for You, you can now install the charger of your choice, all without worrying about additional or hidden fees. Find out how by using the link in the description of this video. Now let's talk about what happened this month, which I think, if not handled well, can actually seriously damage Tesla's reputation. And before some of you post Alex hates Tesla comments, which you absolutely should submit to this channel's MySpace page, I think that no one is better to lead and innovate right now than Tesla, so I genuinely hope that Tesla does stay on top and resolve this problem. So this week, the California Civil Rights Agency has filed a lawsuit against Tesla alleging some really serious and flat-out disgusting multiple occurrences of racism. And this is serious. I don't even want to list the horrible things that have been alleged. You can read the lawsuit if you want, but I do believe in the due process, and I hope that we withhold the final judgment until all facts are out, because we are so good at it here in the United States. However, what was equally disturbing was the reply from Tesla to these accusations. Instead of taking the accusations seriously and committing to getting to the facts and hopefully making changes, Tesla's response, echoed by highly criticized post by Elon Musk, has mainly concentrated on suggesting that Tesla is the victim and that they should be left alone no matter what they do, simply because they are providing jobs here in California. No, providing jobs to people does not give you a pass on abusing them at those jobs. And there is another similar lawsuit accusing Tesla of supporting an environment of sexual harassment against women at the workplace. And don't get me wrong, I know big companies always have different types of lawsuits filed against them all the time, but with Tesla, it's a bit different. The fact that this has been going on for years and allegations have only grown, and the response from Tesla indicate that this may just be an extremely bad case that can drag the entire brand into the mud. And of course, normally something like this would be addressed by a PR department staff, but much like the radar sensors, Tesla has deemed them unnecessary. For more, we turn to the host of the State of Charge YouTube channel, who does not discriminate against any of his now over 30,000 subscribers, Tom Moloughney. All right, Tom, so obviously we can't predict the future until Elon Musk makes a robot for that, but for now, history is a pretty good indicator. So is it possible that in the next few years, much like, Facebook and other companies I mentioned, Tesla takes a backseat and other, people and car makers kind of maybe even collectively take the leadership of the electric car revolution? Is it possible?
So yeah, it's absolutely possible, Alex. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but Tesla really jumped out ahead of everyone, and for good reason. They had really good cars. They were doing things no one else was doing. Cars that were sexy, long range, charged fast. No one else was making electric vehicles like that, 7, 8, 9 years ago. But now the OEMs are, and they still have their issues, particularly with the interface and the infotainment systems, and just the information you get. Tesla's still ahead in a lot of ways, but the legacy brands are catching up, and Tesla absolutely can find themselves overwhelmed by the pack if they don't continue to innovate. In my opinion, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but they probably have 3 or 4 years where they're still going to be market leader. But once 2025 comes around, if they're not being innovative, if they're not coming out with really good new products, then yeah, I think that is a possibility.
Now, up until now, Tesla and Elon Musk, much like Donald Trump, actually, love him or hate him, somehow they found themselves in this universe where they can get away with so many things that others can't, right? But is there something that's been happening in the last year or so, including that huge lawsuit with some horrible allegations? Is there something that you think out there that can actually finally break them if they don't really start taking it seriously?
Well, yeah, all these little things have kind of chipped away, I think, at Elon Musk's credibility for a lot of people. Going back to, the SEC, going after him for saying he was going to take the company private, and then the diving situation with the pedo comment, and, this extremely unfortunate tweet that he made this week, which is incredibly inappropriate. Those things are all adding up. And, it is chipping away at his credibility. And he's the face of Tesla. So that makes people not happy with the company when they're not happy with the CEO. So, yeah, I think it's a problem. And I think he really needs to take a step back and take a look at what he's been doing and the direction he's taken the company in and the impacts his actions have on Tesla, the company.
Well, even though it is unlikely that he does that, but if he did step back and say, okay, maybe I need to take a second look at all of this and run the company maybe a little bit differently, what do you think would be the number thing on his agenda to kind of turn the whole ship around? And I think they can still get back very, very, very quickly as a brand and him as an individual to be, the beloved star that he was several years ago.
That's the easiest question you've ever asked me, Alex. I believe he needs to hire a CEO and empower that person, not just a puppet CEO. Empower that person to make decisions. Elon can still be the public face of the company. People love him, and I wouldn't say he should divorce himself from the company. But I think if he brought in somebody who was, a credible person that knows this business, that's a good public speaker and can put on a good face of the company, I think it would really help Tesla, and it would help Elon also.
I thought the easiest question I've ever asked you was, why in the world would you buy an i3? But I guess I stand corrected.
You know better than to even ask me that question. The i3 is a great electric vehicle, and I don't get your constant hate on it. It still is, the i3, it's retired now.
Tom, sorry to interrupt, but I think I'm going into the tunnel. What do you say? I think you're breaking up. I can't hear you anymore, Tom. I don't know what happened. Again, probably a loose wiring somewhere, but if you want to hear more of Tom's thoughts on i3 and so many other exciting things, check out his YouTube channel. I put a link to it in the description of this video. Now, before we move on to the next story, let's check out the grumpy comment of the week. And this time it comes from Mark Pastakia, who says, is that your dad walking past the Maybach in your intro? Now, on one hand, he is taking a dig at me. I don't know how I feel about that. But on the other hand, he is complimenting two people in my life. One of them, of course, is my father, who is 93 this year. And another one, since that video was shot a couple of years ago, is my hair transplant doctor. Which is ironic because both of them play kind of opposite roles in my life. One makes my hair fall out, and another one adds it back in, but neither one is paying for my therapy. But this footage was never meant to be used for the intro, actually. When I was filming my exclusive video with the EQS concept, which Mark thought was the Maybach, I thought the car was so snow white and clean that you should just take your shoes off before getting in. But after failing not to shove my butt into the camera, know how to take my shoes off like an adult, and failing to remember where the self-closing door button was, I give up and ended up using the footage a couple of years later for my intro because this is one of my most favorite car designs of all time. Let's move on to the next story, and Fisker Ocean deliveries are due at the end of the year with over 30,000 reservations, and according to Fisker, the best warranty in the world. It is a 6-year, 60,000-mile warranty, but in a surprising announcement this week, Fisker has opened a reservation queue for its second EV, due out in 2024, called Pear, Personal Electric Automotive Revolution, that will start under $30,000. This image is all we have for now, so we don't really know what it's going to look like just yet. The Ocean SUV will be manufactured by Magna, but the Pear EV will be manufactured by Foxconn in Ohio, at the factory they just bought from the Lordstown Motors, where they will also be making the Lordstown Endurance. When I talked to Henrik at the Los Angeles Auto Show a few months ago, he did tell me that something else is coming as well.
Looking into the future, I fell in love with the emotion back in the day, and I'm just wondering if there's any future for that car.
So I've already designed the next version of that. So yes, we will have some sort of supercar in the future. You'll be the first to know that. And we haven't announced that yet, but we will have some sort of supercar.
Ooh, a Fisker exclusive. I like that. You've heard it here first, but let's move on to the next story, and Lexus. Toyota's luxury brand has released some videos of its electric sports cars, and as cool as they look, there is very little to talk about, with the only specs offered being the 0 to 60 time in low to second range and a driving range of over 400 miles. So to summarize, with Fisker you can reserve the car but not see it, and with Lexus, it's the other way around. Recently, Toyota has been pivoting from an EV hater to an EV maker, with the BZ4X all-electric SUV in production in just a few months. But at the same time, as many other automakers have been showcasing their EVs during the Super Bowl, Toyota, with the help of Tommy Lee Jones, was advertising the big gas-powered trucks. Aptera has posted a video where two of its prototypes, Alpha and Beta, race a Tesla Model 3 and an Audi R8, and Tesla loses to both prototypes. Now, I personally never thought that taking a three-wheeled EV to a racetrack could be a thing, but here it is. The all-wheel drive version of Aptera has 0 to 60 time at around 3.5 seconds, and Aptera claims that the first deliveries of this 1,000-mile EV are still on track for the end of the year. General Motors, a company President Biden has recently found out may not be the electric car leader, has just announced that their sales of Bolt EVs this quarter will be only 26 units off from the previous quarter. Of course, as you know, 26 EVs is all they made last quarter, so I guess this is not as good of a news as it might have sounded when I said it to, purposely trick you. That's right, GM is extending the pause to production for the third time as the automaker is struggling to get itself out of the Bolt battery recall nightmare. And check this out, it looks like an all-electric DeLorean may be in our future. A company that owns the rights to the name and has been making DeLorean parts has released this teaser suggesting just that. The original DeLorean Motor Company does no longer exist, but the nostalgia for this unique car very much does, especially in those of us who could never afford it. It was given a very appropriate name of the DeLorean Evolved, and it seems that the company will focus on the luxury aspect of the car in addition to the sport aspect. Don't forget to hang out with me live for our weekly subscriber hangout at 1 p.m. Pacific. Right here on the channel, you can set the reminder on the homepage. I am looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.